project that I was working on, I was able to start it in my freshman semester at UDC as a mechanical engineering major. I was introduced to the research through our department, through the nanotechnology and the advancement additive manufacturing research group. And that research that I started doing in my freshman year, it was foreign to me, and I felt like I wanted a textbook to teach me like what I should do. And it was just so many questions, but not, and like everything was not answers, but you had to do experiments to get those answers. And the instruments that we had to use during that research were a scanning electron microscope. And then I also used an atomic force microscope as well in our laboratory. And at the time, I didn't realize how much that experiences was going to pay off or how much it was going to pay dividends. But it was in my second semester of my freshman year where we made the poster of my research, where we submitted it and we got invited to come to Tennessee, to Knoxville, Tennessee, to present that research. So in the first semester of my sophomore year, me and my researching professor, who's a professor in the mechanical engineering department, his name is Dr. Tyagi, but all of the research professors have this capacity as well. Me and he traveled to Tennessee. We presented the research, and we won that poster there, that best poster award right there. And it wasn't really competitive or really high pressure situation. Everything was a fun experience. It was like fun to go. It was fun to talk, and they just liked that we worked hard. So
And
after
where
that,
is it? Where is it
uh,
that you went in Tennessee? Where is the place you went?
sure, we went to Y12. It is a Department of Energy National Nuclear Security Laboratory. So they work with trying to protect our nation from nuclear threats. And when we presented, that experience also gave me an opportunity to be invited back for this summer that just passed for a summer internship. And during COVID-19, it was really, really very unlikely that we were going to find internships as sophomores just on our own, even just anywhere we went. But the fact that I worked through the UDC and the outreach that UDC has in the department, I had that set up for me already. So I went to Tennessee. I went to Knoxville, Tennessee in June, and I went for 10 weeks. And in those 10 weeks, my first 2 weeks were me having to choose which direction I wanted to go within a field of research. I chose additive manufacturing as that field, but even my researching engineer did not have a large amount of experience with scanning electron microscopes. It was something that when I had brought to his attention as something that I wanted to kind of hone in on and try to improve, he was like, wow, maybe I should learn it as well. And that gave me the opportunity to work with the scanning electron microscope on the Department of Energy National Nuclear Security Lab, which is huge. It's like ours is great, but it's like, yeah, it's the real deal. So I used that one on site, and that was great. I got to use hone in. I'm not an expert, not at all, but I got to like see in practice what it means when someone brings something into the lab and they want you to analyze, they want you to characterize it using this instrument. So that's what I did throughout most of the summer. My project specifically, luckily, it was unclassified, so I don't have to like act like it was really important. It was additive manufacturing using metal powder. So we had to characterize these metal powder particles to see how best to use them to create a 3D printed part. And in that project, it was just like any other technology with from the first technology to now where you want to improve a process. When we first started using fire, we had to improve that in order to create better food sources. So this is just us understanding metal powder to create better parts. And so we did that for the 10 weeks and I learned a lot. I even at the end of the 10 weeks, because of some of the coordination between UDC and Y12, Department of Energy Lab, I was offered to continue working on my project throughout the semester, throughout and then to return next summer. So it's a little bit of a weight off of my shoulders as far as everything that's going on and how unstable like research and like work is. I can't work at the restaurant I used to work at because it was shut down, but I know that I still have this opportunity. And it's mostly like pretty much primarily due to me being a part of the engineering department at UDC.
That's awesome. Would you have ever had an idea that as a freshman and a sophomore, you could be involved in this type of research?
It shocked me, Miss Langford. It did. It really did. It did. And honestly, I can't even take credit for it because I was just in our C's lab, which if you're a freshman, you might not have seen it yet because of COVID. So we aren't able to go on campus as much. But most of the engineering students we study in the lab on the third floor, and it's just like a hub. The professors come in and out and stuff like that. And Professor Tyagi saw me and he asked me like what I was doing. This is just something that a lot of the students have like firsthand experience to like face to face with research and professors who've been doing this for like a long time. So he asked me what I was doing, and he just engaged me in a research that I had no idea. And the first week, I was running these pretty much it's like a process and experiment where we use hydrochloric acid and we use sulfuric acid and we use a current and we polish a metal piece. So like we'll connect one metal piece of something that's been 3D printed to another metal, which is lead, and we will put them in those two acids, and we will run a current between the two, and the metal piece that's connected as the negative lead will start to get finished. Like it'll get smooth and clean. And for me, I was like, I don't even know what this is about, but he was engaging me, and it ended up becoming a major part of some of the things that I worked on with Y12.
That is awesome. Josh, thank you so much.
Sure, it
I'm
was nice.
going